shares of that, but we're all touched. So if we can start to break apart our society because we can convince people that white is black and up is down, it's going to be pretty hard to move forward. So that needs to be what we focus on. But we can do that. I mean, we have the power to solve this.
In one of the final acts of the 20-year war in Afghanistan, the U.S. fired a missile from a drone at a car in Kabul. It was a horrible mistake. It ended up killing 10 innocent Afghan civilians. Do you worry about the U.S. capabilities when it comes to successful missions now that we're fully out of the country? I mean, that mission was with the U.S. still in the country.
I would ask people to think about that one a little bit because it was a horrible mistake. But at the same time, the person who was controlling that had this terrible dilemma. If they had not taken a shot and that car had gone to the airfield and created another mass casualty event like it had been a couple of days before that, then we'd be having a very different conversation. This highlights how difficult that is because even though you're seeing things from 10,000 feet, it's two-dimensional. Not knowing what's going on the ground makes it harder. So we're going to have to respect the fact that this is going to be challenging to understand.
Daniel Davis is a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel. He served 2 tours in Afghanistan, and there was an article in the Washington Post about a month ago about the fact that the Afghanistan war's failures have been laid bare, and in his view and others, military leaders should be evaluated. He writes, quote, "For years, it's been payday for the generals, while the war itself has been a complete disaster. At what point do we hold anyone accountable?" And he in the article very directly talked about you. And your post-military career and how you apply military strategies used in Afghanistan to offer advice to U.S. businesses or to governments. This book is not a bad example of that either. Risk a user's guide. And look, you were known in the military during and after your time there as a thinker. Have you reevaluated the lessons you learned in Afghanistan and how you use them in the private sector? And how do you respond to people who say you're profiting off your experience and, the Afghanistan war was ultimately a disaster?
I think if we all don't learn from our experiences and share them with other people, then the reality is we don't move forward as a society. One of the things we've done in the last year and a half is work with the city of Boston. We had a call from Mayor Marty Walsh who asked us if we would help as COVID approached. And so members of my team went up for about 5.5 months, helped them put together the ability to communicate better, the ability to deal with the kind of a threat that COVID-19 turned out to be. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm very proud of the interactions the team I'm a part of does with civilian companies, parts of government, states. So I would say that you have to contribute in the best way you can, and so I think we're doing that.
All right, General Stanley McChrystal, thank you so much. His new book, co-authored by Anna Petrico, is called Risk, a User's Guide. It's out right now. Only one major airline is resisting a vaccine mandate for employees. Why? That's next.
Now there's a new way Experian Boost can raise your credit scores.
I boosted 16 points using Experian.
I download the app, I link some of my streaming services, and boom, my credit score went up.
Now paying for Netflix, Hulu, and more can boost your credit scores. Download the Experian app now.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea,
Pepto-Bismol coats your stomach for fast and soothing relief. And try new drug-free Pepto Herbal Blends, made from 100% natural ginger and peppermint.
Now it's your chance to invest like I do in companies that make things like this jetpack, this hard seltzer, and this electric motorbike. It's all on Start Engine, which has an investor community of over 500,000 and has funded innovative startups. Go to startengine.com today and start investing. Sorry, got a jet.
DashPass.
How does it feel to have an Angie home? Like savoring a midnight snack in your newly renovated dream kitchen. Get started on your next home project at Angie.com or download the Angie mobile app today. Make your home an Angie home. Angie, and done.
With the timeless protection of ADT, it's safe to say, hey Google, unlock the front door. When you've helped save more lives than any other home security brand, it's safe to reason millions of people trust ADT to help protect what matters most.
Every new day offers opportunities to connect with promotional products that motivate, inspire, and express well-deserved thank yous. Meaningful moments start at 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
When you really need to sleep, you reach for the really good stuff. New ZQL Ultra helps you sleep better and longer when you need it most. It's non-habit forming and powered by the makers of NyQuil. New ZQL Ultra, when you really, really need to sleep.
It's okay, everyone. I got this.
Are you a doctor?
Negative. I just watch a ton of medical dramas on Sling TV.
With Sling, you're confident you get the best of live TV from us. Get your first month now for only $10. Sling.
Staying on top of your game takes a plan. That's why at Aetna, we take a total connected approach to your health and wellness. With Medicare Advantage plans designed to surround you with the care you need every day. Aetna Medicare Advantage plans.
With clean, fresh ingredients, Panera's new chicken sausage and pepperoni flatbread is a mouth-watering explosion of yes. Craft? Yes. Heartiness? Yes. Living life to the flavor fullest? Heck yes. Panera. Live your yes. Now $1 delivery.
The new CNN original series, Diana, premieres Sunday at 9 on CNN. This is an entirely new way of cooking. This is Brava. This is cooking with light. Seriously, with light. It's a whole chicken roasted in half the time. 3 different ingredients cooked perfectly on one tray. And thousands of chef-designed recipes at your fingertips. Brava is no more guesswork in the kitchen. It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the touch of a button. It's hands-free cooking. Brava. Food made brilliant.
The last time I had a big bank was about 3 years ago when I ended all that and started my relationship with Chime. Chime is super easy. It's been such a wonderful experience. I don't even know what it feels like to be screwed by a bank fee. I'm thinking back and I'm just like, I try to suppress those dark days. Obviously, early payday, it's great. I don't have to worry about where my money is and if it's in good hands or not.
Download the Chime app today.
Never would I think that I would join a cult, but that's exactly what I did.
In our health lead, Delta remains the only major U.S. airline stuck in a holding pattern now that Southwest says its employees will have to get coronavirus vaccinations. Southwest joining the list of major U.S. carriers mandating vaccinations for their workforces, mostly because of pressure from the Biden administration. Of the big 4, American, Delta, Southwest, and United, only United imposed a vaccine mandate on its own. CNN aviation correspondent Pete Montine joins us now live from Reagan National Airport just outside D.C. Pete, why is Delta holding out?
Well, Delta says it's still examining this guidance from the White House, Jake. And what's so interesting is that Delta insists that its own approach is working and that it may not have to issue a worker vaccine mandate after all. Unvaccinated Delta employees will face a $200 a month surcharge on their health insurance starting early next month. So far, Delta says about 84% of its employees have already been vaccinated voluntarily. And Delta CEO Ed Bastian anticipates the number will go up to about 90% by early December. Here is what he just told our Richard Quest in an exclusive interview.
So a mandate in and of itself is a blunt instrument that you need to get a shot or you lose your job. And knowing that we have a lot of employees that have been here for many years, some that have very deep-seated feelings and concerns about the vaccine, I wanted to respect that, but there was a cost to it.
The facts are these worker vaccine mandates do work. United's vaccine mandate just went into effect last week. 67,000 employees in the U.S. had to submit to that, and of those, only about 232 resisted. United tells us now that that number actually went down as the firing process began for those employees who initially resisted, Jake.
And Pete, there's also some new data on incidents with unruly airline passengers.
Well, the rate of unruly airline passenger incidents continue to go up. This story is not over. 4,600 incidents just this year alone, according to the FAA. And just in the last week, there have been 128 new incidents reported by flight crews to the federal government. That number is the highest weekly figure we have seen in more than 2.5 months, and it's likely these numbers will continue to go up. We know that as concerns about the pandemic subside, more and more people come back to air travel, Jake.
All right, Pete Montine and Reagan, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Gabby Petito's family and Brian Laundrie's sister both have a message for the fugitive. That's the next. And she says she was patient zero for cancel culture and the internet insanity. Monica Lewinsky joins me to talk about her new HBO documentary. That's next.
Thinkorswim Trading equips you with customizable tools, dedicated trade desk pros, and a passionate trader community sharing strategies right on the platform. Because we take trading as seriously as you do. Thinkorswim Trading from TD Ameritrade.
My reputation was trashed online. I felt completely helpless. My entire career and business were in jeopardy. I called Reputation Defender.
Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. Find out your online reputation today and let the experts help you repair it.
They were able to restore my good name.
Visit reputationdefender.com or call 1-877-866-8555.
Got some ATM love across the country. Wherever you need us is where we'll be. Count on time, 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 time. Give you peace of mind.
Dry eye symptoms keep driving you crazy? Inflammation in your eye might be to blame.
Let's kick China's ache and burn into gear.
Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating your eyes and may provide temporary relief.
Those drops will probably pass right by me.
Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease.
What is that? Xiidra!
It can provide lasting relief. Xiidra is the only FDA-approved non-steroid treatment specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye twice a day. Don't use if you're allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Got any room in your eye?
Be proactive about managing your symptoms by talking to your doctor about twice daily Xiidra like I did.
I prefer you did it.
Xiidra. Not today, dry eye.
This Friday.
And Java?
Constantly.
This is it. This is it.
What happens when we welcome change? We can transform our workforce overnight, out of convenience or necessity. We can explore uncharted waters and not only make new discoveries, but get there faster with better outcomes. With app, cloud, and anywhere workspace solutions, VMware helps companies navigate change, meeting them where they are and getting them where they want to be, faster. VMware. Welcome change.
Right now is a great time to buy a new home. So what can give you a competitive edge? Rocket can. A verified approval from Rocket Mortgage helps your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you and your offer. So when you need the speed, ease, and confidence to buy the home that's right for you, Rocket can. Visit rocketmortgage.com or call us today. Rocket.
Get a dozen double crunch shrimp for $1 with any steak entree, only at Applebee's. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
In our national lead, new comments from the families of homicide victim Gabby Petito and her missing fiance Brian Laundrie. Laundrie's sister says She does not know where her brother is, but if she did, she would turn him in. As CNN's Leila Santiago reports for us now. Cassie Laundrie says she, like everyone else, is wondering what, if any, role her parents may have played in his suspicious disappearance.
Today marks 3 weeks since Gabby Petito's fiance, Brian Laundrie, has been missing, according to his parents. His sister Cassie speaking, insisting she has no idea where her brother is.
I do not know where Brian is. I'd turn him in.
She also expressed a range of emotions, feeling worried about him, but also angry.
I would tell my brother to just come forward and get us out of this horrible mess.
Monday, Cassie also revealing to protesters staked outside her home that Brian flew home on August 17th, just 5 days after that fight he and Gabby had in Moab, Utah. The attorney for Laundrie's parents confirming in a statement to CNN that Laundrie flew home the 17th and returned to Utah on August 23rd to rejoin Gabby, and that, quote, Brian flew home to obtain some items and empty and close the storage unit to save money as they contemplated extending the road trip. Cassie says she saw Brian during that August 17th trip, but she says the last time she saw her brother was when he went camping with his parents at Fort DeSoto Park on September 6th, and there was no discussion about Gabby.
We just went for a couple of hours and we ate dinner and had s'mores around the campfire and left, and there was nothing peculiar about it. There was no feeling of grand goodbye. There was nothing.
Today, Gabby's parents and step-parents speaking out on Dr. Phil's show, saying they believe Brian is definitely alive and in hiding.
He's a coward. Anyone that lived in that house is a coward.
According to the police, Brian Laundrie's parents claim they last saw him on September 14th. They reported him missing 3 days later. When asked about her parents' involvement, Cassie told ABC,
I don't know if my parents are involved. I think if they are, then they should come clean.
Cassie says this is tearing her family apart, and it's not easy watching police question her brother and Gabby after a 911 caller reported their fight.
It was definitely painful to see everybody just be upset. It was pretty typical of them to argue and try and take space from each other. But people saying they saw public domestic violence, I've never seen anything like that from either of them.
And in that Dr. Phil interview, you hear the parents and step-parents talk about how they called and texted Laundrie's parents multiple times when they first started getting concerned about Gabby. They said they never received any calls in return. In fact, when they filed a missing persons report, they said they thought that both Gabby and Brian were missing. It was after they filed that report that they learned Gabby's van was at the Laundrie home here in Northport, Florida. Now, for their part, the attorney for Brian Laundrie's parents say they do not know where Brian is. Jake?
All right, Leila Santiago, thanks so much. Turning to our Earth Matters series, that massive oil spill along the California southern coast. Well, it may have started earlier than first thought. The energy company behind the leak says it first detected a problem Saturday, but documents show sightings were reported to authorities on Friday. As for the cause, right now the leading theory is that the anchor of a passing ship struck the pipeline, leaving more than 100,000 gallons of crude oil to spew into the ocean, putting wildlife and beach visitors in danger. CNN's Sarah Seidner is in Huntington Beach, California, where cleaning up all that oil moves at a painstakingly thorough pace.
We have now learned the company that owns the pipeline responsible for the California oil spill says it did not detect a leak until the day after residents reported smelling strong fumes.
We were not aware of anything Friday night.
The revelations are raising questions about its ability to detect spills. Officials also upped the maximum potential amount of crude oil that is gushed out into the Pacific Ocean from 126,000 gallons to 144,000.
The impact to the environment is going to last years. Potentially even decades.
Water quality scientists like Luke Ginger are sick and tired of excuses for oil spills.
These spills have occurred for as long as oil extraction has happened, and despite advances in technology, despite new regulations, this industry continues to skirt those regulations, ignore regulations, and continues to pollute.
The suffering of the oil spill crippling birds, their feathers gummed up with the tar-like toxic crude oil. It may be weeks before we know the impact on other animals whose habitat has been contaminated. As for people, they're still using the beaches, but noticing tar balls and ribbons of dark, sticky muck. They are trying to clean it up as we speak, but there is a lot of work to do, and we still don't know the extent of exactly just how much oil has been spilled. But the damage is done, not just to wildlife, but the tourism business out on the water.
Any kind of oil that you see, it's usually a big clump. It's usually a dark spot.
Captain Peg makes his living chartering boats. All rides are canceled for now. How is this affecting business?
Well, it's affecting business because nobody can leave the harbor.
For how long?
They say 2 to 3 weeks minimum.
Meantime, Amplify is facing increased scrutiny, created 4 years ago out of the bankruptcy of another small company. Federal regulators found 125 non-compliance incidents over 11 years by Amplify's subsidiary, responsible for the upkeep of the pipeline. Government and court records show.
We have examined more than 8,000 feet of pipe.
Amplify indicated it was sending divers down to find the source of the leak. That did not sit well with Orange County's district attorney.
If that is not done independently, that is a travesty. The company should not be responsible for leading its own investigation.
And there has been an update to that. They are now saying that they hired contractors, as they normally do, to send the divers down. We should also mention, it's a bit jarring here on some California beaches to see just how close these oil platforms are. You can see one over each of my shoulders here on Huntington Beach. This spill happened about 4.5 miles out from the shore here. We understand that there is a 13-inch gash in one of those pipelines, and that the pipeline, which is about 4,000 feet long, was moved about 105 feet. The company floated the idea that maybe this was caused, potentially, they're still investigating though, by a ship's anchor. Jake?
Yeah, Sarah Seidner, thank you so much. Our next guest is Monica Lewinsky, who's now sharing her story as part of a new TV series and examining the so-called cancel culture. Stay with us.
I don't just play someone brainy on TV. I'm an actual neuroscientist, and I love the science behind Neuriva Plus. Unlike ordinary memory supplements, Neuriva Plus fuels 6 key indicators of brain performance. More brain performance, yes please. Neuriva, think bigger.
Angie's List is now Angie, and it's easier than ever to get your projects done right. With Angie, you can connect with top pros and see ratings and reviews. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
With laser-measured floor liners and cargo liners, bump step, plus the cup foam to secure your phone, seat protectors, or no-drill mud flaps. WeatherTech's American-made products are perfect protection for any season. Order at WeatherTech.com. WeatherTech, made right in America. This isn't just a walk up the stairs. When you have an irregular heartbeat, it's more. It's dignity. The freedom to go where you want, knowing your doctor can watch over your heart.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Got DirecTV Stream. Now we can watch live TV and on demand. Serena, scary movie. Selena, scary movie.
Serena Williams, ready to serve.
Quiet, please. Triple match point, Serena Williams.
This is her moment.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
Get your TV together with the best of live and on demand. Introducing DirecTV Stream with no annual contract.
Mr. Wonderful here. It's hard for everyday people to get access to startup investments. But with Start Engine, you can choose between hundreds of startups to build your portfolio. It's your turn to become a shark. Visit startengine.com today.
I'm shooting a math problem. I'll just say algebra or something, and I need help.
All right, do the help.
But he does a completely weird algorithm that he did did when he was 10 years old with my...
It's called the road to the solution.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a long road.
At Brainly, all roads lead to understanding. Staff to solve any homework problem instantly. Ask the Brainly community for help. Or chat live with a tutor for one-on-one support. That's learning your way. Try the Brainly app free.
Lee's Landing, New Jersey is a slice of American life.
Danny ran off with a blonde in a Hummer. Maybe Grandmom's not the sweet old grandmom that she's portraying to be.
Murder Nation, Jersey Gore. New episode Sunday night at 10.
Your time to invest in companies that make stuff like this hard seltzer and this jetpack is now. It's all on Start Engine, which has an investor community of over 500,000. Go to startengine.com today and start investing.
Well, that's a lot. Is there any way we can get a better price? Single Care. When you walk up to the counter at the pharmacy, you don't want to overpay for your prescriptions. Just look up the prescription on the Single Care app, find the best price, and show the coupon to your pharmacist. That's me. Look, it just took us 10 seconds to save. Yes. Single Care partners with major pharmacies across the United States. No gimmicks. It's free to use and available, whether you have insurance or not. The price you see on the app is the price you get. So check the Single Care price and start saving today.
This is my wallet before, and this is my rich wallet.
It's smaller, lighter, and a lot more convenient than my old leather wallet. And helps me get rid of all the junk that I've collected over the years.
The Ridge is a huge upgrade. Get your Ridge wallet at Ridge.com.
The new CNN original series, Diana, premieres Sunday at 9 on CNN.
And our politics lead a new look at a scandal. It's been more than 20 years since President Bill Clinton was acquitted on charges that he committed perjury and obstructed justice. Now a new FX series called Impeachment, American Crime Story, follows the three women who were caught in the middle and brutally tried in the court of public opinion: Paula Jones, Linda Tripp, and Monica Lewinsky.
Jesus, Monica. It just always comes back to what's best for him. No, Linda. It's me. This is for me. And all you have to do is say that you've never seen the president behave inappropriately with anyone, because that is 100% the truth. I need to think about it. You keep saying that. You have thought about it. I know. Linda, please. Please, this is my real life we're talking about. And I'm scared.
Join us now, the real Monica Lewinsky, not Beanie Feldstein, who you saw depicting her there. Monica serves as a producer on the series. She's also producing a new documentary on HBO Max, a Warner Media cousin of ours here at CNN. It's called 15 Minutes of Shame. And I want to start with that documentary, if we can, Monica, which I watched. And it's really very powerful. And it's also kind of very relevant right now, because it focuses on the role that social media plays in ruining people's lives, often unfairly. As you see Facebook in the news and reports that its leaders knew about the danger, Instagram poses on teenagers and went ahead with the algorithm anyway. You talk about this a bit in the documentary about what needs to happen with social media to protect people. What do you have any ideas about what you think should happen with social media companies in the U.S. so they're serving more of a good and less of a service to a mob?
Well, I have a laundry list of ideas. People who know me well know I'm constantly coming up with ideas. Whether or not they're good or bad, I don't know. But I think that sort of more importantly, what we've seen kind of from yesterday, and I think it's worth mentioning that Frances Haugen, in testifying, how brave she was. Because in part, what our doc is looking at is this online behavior that happens, and women and people from marginalized communities are torn apart way more online. So to come forward as a whistleblower in that sense is very brave. And I think that what she was also talking about and really showcasing too with the algorithm and the focus on outrage, where the doc comes into all of this too, is that if you think about the stonings that happened way back when, the stone that you're picking up and throwing in the kind of firestorm of outrage is usually and often is public humiliation and shame. That's how we get angry. I mean, there are other ways we do it too, but I think that that's where, this all blends together. But to sort of answer your question more directly, I absolutely think that all of the social media companies even though they are trying, they can definitely do better, and they need to do better.
You take a look at what is often called cancel culture, the idea of trying to cancel somebody. So you take a political look at what that means. There's a woman in the doc who very interestingly says that cancel culture is not really the right term for it, and I think that's something you also agree with.
Yeah, for me, I think when you look under the hood of cancel culture, you really come to see and understand that we are talking about myriad behaviors and myriad consequences. And what can happen if we start to call everything cancel culture is that we're losing the nuance and the importance. I mean, if you think about, in some ways we call it shaming for change in the doc. So if you think about things like Black Lives Matters or Me Too, that there are ways that public shaming can help shape sort of social behavior in important ways. So I just think that as a society, we need to kind of carve out what are we talking about, and what are the punishments that we're meting out, who's the one to do that, and stop really, I think using the umbrella term is creating a social chaos.
Yeah, I mean, a guy who sexually harasses women, he's not being canceled, that's accountability.
Right, exactly. Roxane Gay calls it, I think as you just mentioned, but Roxane Gay calls it consequence culture.
Yeah.
And Kara Swisher, I believe, calls it accountability culture.
Yeah.
And I think that those distinctions are very important. We like to have a catch-all phrase for everything in society, but that doesn't work well here, in my opinion.
Yeah, and in your doc, you tell the story, the true life story about a guy named Emmanuel Cafferty. He was a utility worker in San Diego, California. He says he was a victim of cancel culture. This was the guy, people might remember this was about a year ago. He has a twitch. He says he does this with his hand. I don't know if you can see me, Monica, but he's doing this thing where and somebody took a picture of him thinking he was making a white power symbol. And that went out throughout, he was driving a San Diego gas and electric truck. That went out into the media, on social media. And then SDG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric, fired him. And it's clear the guy got a bum rap. Even the guy that did the tweet to begin with admitted that he might have misunderstood that this Mexican American was not a white supremacist. Do you think it's time? The company, San Diego Gas and Electric, has a new chairman, it's Kevin Segarra.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Should Kevin rehire Mr. Rafferty?
Gosh, I think that would be great. I mean, I think if that's what Emmanuel would feel best about. I was really lucky, had a Zoom a couple weeks ago with the targets that are in the doc, and this has been incredibly challenging for him. And people will see when they watch the documentary that these are stories, stories of people that they may have heard the story before, and they will come to learn really surprising aspects of what actually happened. Who were these people the moment before they made some kind of a decision or became public people? And I think that that's really one of the things that is very important about what we're trying to do with the doc. It's a 90-minute doc, so we're aiming to start a conversation around these kinds of things and looking at how did we get here, and I don't think I can swear on CNN, but where the beep are we going?
Yeah. Stay right with us, Monica. I have a few more questions for you. You're allowed to swear on CNN, by the way, including about the FX series and a surprise coming up in tonight's episode. Stay with us.
So I actually boosted my credit score 20 points using Experian Boost. Experian Boost helped us get a lower APR and save money on our new baby-friendly car.
Experian Boost has helped millions of people. How can it help you? Boost your credit scores instantly, free. Go to Experian.com/boost now.
What if I told you the secret to weight loss is right in front of you? It's just a freezer packed with Nutrisystem, the science-backed weight loss program that makes it easy to reach your weight loss goals. Nutrisystem is America's #1 home delivery weight loss program. Try our new premium dinners, packed with up to 30 grams of protein to keep you full and satisfied. It's not rocket science. It's Nutrisystem ProSync science, a high-protein, lower-glycemic meal plan designed to help keep your blood sugar steady so you feel satisfied while you lose weight.
Nutrisystem changed my life. It tastes so good, forget you're losing weight.
This is the old can. And all the meals are incredibly easy to make in minutes. chance. And if it doesn't work for you, just send it back for a refund.
I gained a lot of my confidence back. I'm just back to me, and I really do attribute a lot of that to Nutrisystem.
The secret to weight loss is not a mystery. It's Nutrisystem. Call or go online right now and get free shipping.